Princess Royal, I don't know if you heard this one, the Princess Royal said, "You're not queen, you're the queen's consort." Did you hear that one? That's...
Oh, honey, grab your teacups because the royal palace has just exploded in drama. Yes, you heard that right. The British monarchy is shaking. Prince William just dropped a bombshell that left King Charles and Queen Camilla in absolute tears. I mean, actual tears. And what he did, oh, darling, it wasn't just unexpected, it was earth-shattering. Let me take you to that day. The day London stood still. It all started like any other prim and proper royal occasion. The sky was behaving, Buckingham Palace looked flawless as always, white roses in bloom, and the gates wide open to welcome the elite of the Commonwealth. Flags fluttered, photographers positioned, whispers filled the air. Just another regal event, right? Wrong. Inside those golden halls and marble floors, something felt different. Staff were moving quicker than usual, whispering nervously. Their eyes weren't on the decor or the guests or even the king. No, every gaze was locked on one man, Prince William. And what did he do? He asked, no, insisted, to speak alone. That's right, no King Charles, no Queen Camilla, just him. Palace aides tried to play it down. Oh, it's just a few words, they said. But anyone who knows how the firm operates could feel it in the air. That wasn't a few words. This was a statement. And oh boy, when William finally stepped forward, the silence was deafening. Staff stood stiff, no casual smiles, just a quiet tension. William's face was calm, too calm, and it was eerie. He wasn't nervous, he wasn't theatrical, but that calmness, it screamed seriousness. Some even whispered he looked like Diana, his mother, the late Princess of Hearts, graceful, bold, honest. Then he spoke. No shouting, no anger, just pure, controlled, deliberate power, and every word hit like a wave. First, he went into the history of the crown, honoring its legacy, traditions, pride. But then, boom, he pivoted. He said it was time. Not tomorrow, not next year, now. Time for change. He said, and this is a quote, babes, that the crown should no longer sit above the people, but stand beside them. Mic drop. But wait, it gets better. He unveiled a whole new vision for the royal family, and guess who he appointed to help lead this bold new chapter? His rock-solid wife, Catherine, obviously, plus Princess Anne and Uncle Edward. That's right, William wants to share power. The old way of one supreme figure, over. But it didn't stop there. In a move that had jaws on the floor, William basically, without officially saying it, declared a quiet regency. With King Charles's support, William would begin handling royal duties, meeting foreign leaders, representing the crown, making public decisions. So yes, he's still just a prince, technically, but in reality, he's already the one steering the ship. Now, here's where it gets icy, and I mean glacier-level cold. Guess who he didn't mention at all? Queen Camilla. Yep, not a name, not a nod, not even a side glance. It was like she had been erased. And people noticed. Big time. Back in the room, after William's speech, there was no applause, just silence, thick, heavy silence. The kind of silence that says, did he just do that? The monarchy, his monarchy, was changing. Not with protests, not with rebellion, but from within, by a prince who looked the world in the eye and said, we do better, starting now. People were stunned, some shocked, some actually relieved, and others hurt. And that brings us to her. Now, darling, let's talk about the moment that turned the palace from tense to absolute chaos. William was still standing there, calm as ever, reshaping the monarchy with his quiet confidence. But in the middle of all that royal composure, there was one person unraveling by the second. Camilla. At first, she looked composed, sitting upright, smile plastered on, you know, the usual queenly poise. But as William's speech went on, her body language started screaming what her mouth wouldn't say. She clutched that program in her lap like it was the last piece of her dignity, eyes darting around, face pale as porcelain, her breathing shaky, uneven. And then it happened. Silence. Then a sudden collapse. Queen Camilla, the queen consort, slumped forward in front of everyone. Not a dramatic faint, no gasps or wails, just this eerie, silent fall. Like her whole world had just cracked beneath her heels. Aides rushed in. Charles sprang to his feet, stammering her name. Camilla? Camilla? His voice? Shaky, lost. In that moment, the king looked more like a helpless husband than a ruler. The whole room froze. The cameras kept rolling. Guests gasped. Royal staff whispered. What was supposed to be a grand modern turning point for the monarchy had instantly turned into a palace emergency. Camilla had to be escorted out, and just like that, the celebration became a crisis. Outside the hall, it was full-on madness. Phones buzzing non-stop, press teams scrambling, whispers turned into frantic strategy meetings. This wasn't just a health scare anymore. This was something bigger. Inside the palace, hysteria. Questions were flying left and right. Why was Camilla left out? Did William really mean to do that? Did Charles know this was coming? Let's spill the tea. Some royal insiders claim Charles was warned. Yes, love, they say William told his father he intended to speak his truth, and Charles just didn't believe he'd actually go through with it. Oh, but he did, and with style. Now here's where it gets juicy. Was Camilla's exclusion a deliberate power play? Was it William drawing the line? Some called it strategic. Some said it was cold. Others, cruel. But everyone agreed. Camilla wasn't just forgotten, she was excluded entirely. And the impact? Oh, it was instant. The palace, that pristine image of unity, now cracking like fine china. It wasn't just about protocol anymore. This was a family feud, high-stakes edition. On one side, loyalists to Charles and Camilla. On the other, supporters of William and his new era. And Camilla? Poor Camilla. This wasn't just a fainting spell. This was heartbreak. Imagine sitting there watching your stepson, the future king, paint a picture of the monarchy's future, and you're not in it, not even as a background character. For a woman who had spent decades fighting to be accepted, to prove herself, to stand beside Charles, it must have felt like being erased. All the years of backlash, surviving public hate, dodging comparisons to Diana, all for what? To be silently discarded? And William, oh, he didn't flinch. He didn't miss a beat. He carried on with his plan like nothing had happened. Stone cold. Now the public was watching. Some felt bad for Camilla, said she didn't deserve to be humiliated like this. Others, well, they weren't so sympathetic. Some said this was karma, long overdue, especially those who still believe Diana was the only rightful queen the people ever wanted. But whether you're Team Camilla or not, you can't deny the weight of that moment. Her collapse wasn't just physical, it was symbolic. It was like watching an entire era fall in real time, and it made everyone ask the same question. What's next? Because let's be real, if Camilla's out, is Charles next? So now the question everyone's whispering in the press rooms, in the palace halls, across the globe, is King Charles still really in charge? Let's take a step back. King Charles was born into duty, groomed from the moment he could walk to be king one day. His whole life was scheduled to perfection. What to wear, what to say, where to stand. His destiny? To be the ever-stable monarch. Not a disruptor, not a revolutionary, just a protector of the crown. And yet, here we are. He finally gets the crown, the one he waited for his entire life. But now, the kingdom isn't waiting for him. The shift started quietly, but you could feel it. When William gave that speech, something in the air changed. Charles, still technically the king, stood there while his son took over, not with a formal announcement, not with a ceremony, but with pure, undeniable presence. William didn't seize the spotlight chose him. Inside the palace, chaos disguised as decorum. Some aides whispered that Charles had approved William's speech. Others insisted he was just as blindsided as everyone else. Nobody knew the truth. And the confusion only made things worse, because if Charles did approve it, why didn't he speak? Why did he guide the moment? And if he didn't approve it, why didn't he stop it? It was like watching a ship slowly lose its captain. Then Camilla collapsed. And let's be honest, that was more than just exhaustion. That was the weight of being erased, of watching your royal status, your crown, your efforts, your dignity just vanish in front of the world. And Charles? He was shattered. This wasn't just a queen consort falling to the floor. This was his partner, the woman who stood by him through years of scandal and shade, being completely sidelined. Behind closed doors, Charles wasn't just distressed. He was devastated. His reign had barely begun, and already it was slipping. And let's talk optics, shall we? Camilla disappeared. Her calendar cleared. Events canceled, and the palace silent. No official statement, just whispers. She'd gone from public figure to ghost in a matter of days. Meanwhile, guess who stepped forward? Catherine. No fanfare, no big speech, just her quiet, radiant presence. The kind that doesn't need to shout to be heard. She wasn't just present, she was anchoring the entire family with nothing more than grace and composure. While the palace unraveled, the public leaned in. Suddenly, people weren't looking at Charles for leadership anymore. They were looking at William and Catherine. Strong, united, modern, real. And Charles? Poor Charles, because while King Charles still wears the crown, signs everywhere are screaming one truth: William has already taken over. Not with rebellion, not with scandal, not with a sword or a scepter. No, with quiet, calculated, graceful moves that rewrote the script without anyone realizing it until it was already done. And the proof? Oh, honey, it's everywhere. William's calendar? Packed. He's in meetings, on world stages, making high-level appearances and owning the moment every single time. Not as the future king, but as the guy in charge. He's speaking with leaders, making big statements, and showing the kind of leadership the public has been craving. And beside him, always calm, always grounded, Catherine. It's not just their chemistry, it's their command. Together, they're not a couple waiting in line. They're redefining the monarchy on their own terms. Modern, relatable, and dare we say, unstoppable. Meanwhile, Charles, he's still around, still doing the handshakes and ribbon cuttings. But let's not pretend. His voice, quieter. His presence, dim. His influence, fading. And Queen Camilla, practically invisible. The woman who once fought tooth and nail to be accepted as queen, who endured decades of scorn and whispers, now finds herself completely pushed aside. No scandal, no drama, just silence. But that silence? It's louder than words. There's no press release saying she's stepping back, no statement about her role changing, but her absence at events, her vanishing from press materials, her name fading from schedules, all of it paints the same picture. She's out, quietly, but fully, and the public has noticed. Polls are shifting. People, especially the younger generation, are aligning with William and Catherine like never before. They see them as real, as fresh, as exactly what the monarchy needs to survive the modern age. And guess what? Even inside the royal institution, things are starting to reflect that reality. William's team is growing stronger, faster, louder. His decisions come quicker. His influence is growing. Staff now defer to him on matters that used to be handled solely by the king. He's not waiting for anyone to pass him the crown. He's already wearing it in everything but name. And here's where it gets even more jaw-dropping. World leaders, not just fans, not just tabloids, but actual heads of state are now requesting William for discussions, for visits, for negotiation tables. He's not just the prince anymore. He's the face of British royalty on the global stage. Meanwhile, Charles keeps smiling for the cameras, but behind the scenes, the power's already shifted. And it didn't happen with scandal. It didn't happen with a fight. It happened silently, like a whisper behind palace doors. A new era slipping in while the old one wasn't looking. Because this, loves, isn't just a power transition. It's a full-on monarchical evolution. Catherine rose without asking, William led without demanding, and the monarchy, yes, the entire British crown, followed without even needing to be told. Now the whispers are turning into questions. Is this the beginning of a new reign? Was Camilla sidelined or pushed? Is Charles still king in anything but paperwork? And above all, has Prince William, without ceremony or crown, already taken the throne? Because if this is how the monarchy moves forward, with poise, with empathy, with quiet strength, then maybe, just maybe, the future is already here. So what do you think? Is the crown already shifting heads, not with drama, but with dignity? Is William the king we've all been waiting for? And has Catherine already become the true Queen of Hearts? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more royalty, because, honey, the palace may be silent, but the world is absolutely buzzing.